outside of the Otoe County Courthouse here in Nebraska City, Nebraska. It is the oldest public building in the entire state, and there are also a lot of other oldest public buildings or oldest type of whatever in the state of Nebraska here in Nebraska City, or as they like to say, the city that's so great they named a state after it, including the First Methodist Church, the first, Arbor Day celebration. I guess that was first anywhere. But anyway, a lot of really cool history, a lot of really cool stuff going on here in Nebraska City. Unfortunately, their Runza location is not one of those things right now. In fact, it is closed for a rebuild. So I'm still gonna check out their location. We just won't actually get a restaurant experience. And also, later in this episode, I'm going to talk with some people from the Nebraska City Tourism Commission and Chamber of Commerce to learn a little bit more about what the city has to offer. Here I am at the Runza location in Nebraska City, and note I say the Runza location because there is no Runza right here for now. Now apparently the old building was an old A&W that was turned into a Runza and worked great for this community for some time, but that got torn down and is now being rebuilt at this location right here. So people in Nebraska City will not be without a Runza for long. In fact, it's coming back for their Apple Jacks Festival in September, but that's going to be after this summer, so I have to pay a visit here today. Now, I don't really know what menu item to get because there is not really a lot of options, so I suppose we could review some dirt here. I don't really have much experience with reviewing construction site dirt, but this is a little bit of what we've got going on here. I think this is pretty sturdy. This is some good Nebraska ground, great for growing corn, I would imagine, great for maybe building a Runza. Maybe not your best bet if you want to grow pineapples or, I don't know, not the kind of ground polar bears would love, but ultimately I think this is the kind of dirt on which a solid Runza foundation can be built. And although I'm not a construction worker, I am a fast food aficionado, or at least becoming one as this summer goes on, and I can tell you that this right here really is the foundation. This is what makes Runzas Runzas. It's the dirt, it's the foundation of what these Runzas are laid on, and that right here today is what I'm really seeing. In fact, this is really hard too. This is, you're not gonna break this very easily, and that's the same thing. You're not gonna break that Nebraskan spirit of eating Runzas very easily. So a lot of great stuff going on here today. I wish I could try their food, but the construction site will have to suffice, and I'm sure I'll be back here at some point, especially since it's on the way to Lincoln. So I might give you a quick update in the fall, but that is the Nebraska City Runza in June 2020. Well, congratulations, you just watched someone review dirt. Anyway, not my proudest moment out there at the construction site, but needed to say something. Anyway, luckily my interview is far more interesting than a review of dirt, and for that I talked with two ladies from the Nebraska City Chamber and Tourism Commission, so here's what they had to say.
Well, the big one is we are the home of Arbor Day. J. Sterling Morton, the founder of Arbor Day, this is where he planted his roots. And he had his family here, so he started Arbor Day in Nebraska, and Nebraska City was the home of that. So we've got Arbor Lodge Mansion, and we have Arbor Day Farm. The Arbor Day Foundation has headquarters in Lincoln and here in Nebraska City. So we have the Tree Adventure and the Arbor Day Farm, Apple House Market, and the Lead Lodge and Conference Center. So those are the big things that Nebraska City is known for, and the orchards, the apple orchards that we have here in town.
Mm-hmm. We have Kimmel Orchard and Union Orchard. They both have shops here and huge orchards, as well as Arbor Day Farm has an orchard as well. But then our museums. How many museums?
We have 11 museums, and that's more museums per capita than any other city in the entire country.
All right, and they're all open.
Yeah, they're all open, which in this time of pandemic is pretty exciting.
The festivities are typically fun things like a parade and a children's program and giving out trees to everybody who comes, and people coming and seeing the mission of J. Sterling Morton play out. So we had a lot of interactive things, and we didn't ever actually cancel Arbor Day. It wasn't just one day everything is canceled. We took each DHM and applied it to Arbor Day, which kind of started cutting things out. So right away, the children's program, putting that many kids in one area, that was pretty quick to go. But we improvised. We had a company come and do a virtual children's program that we were able to send all the teachers. So what was the next thing that we kind of had to let go? Our
Bloody Mary competition. We are the home of the Nebraska State Bloody Mary competition, and we actually postponed that. So we're still hoping to get that in sometime this year, but that's on the Sunday of Arbor Day weekend. Doesn't really have anything to do with trees, but it is something fun that we host that weekend. And that's a group gathering, a lot of people in one indoor location, so we had to postpone that.
Our home and garden show, which is a lot of outdoor things like trees and stuff that people could sell. Once we couldn't have more than 10 people in a room, we had to cancel that. But the whole mission of Arbor Day never went away. So we still had a lot of promotions online and a lot of virtual tours of the mansion, of all the trails that we had, because the whole point is planting trees, and you can do that at home.
Exactly. Even if you're quarantined, you can order a tree online. And I mean, this is the time of our humanity that you can do that. You know, you don't have to go to a nursery and buy a tree. You can order one from Amazon, which is so weird. Actually, we encourage people to order it from Arbor Day Farm because that's a better tree. But you can plant a tree in your yard and still fall under the self-quarantine, self-isolation rules. And so we encourage people to just plant trees wherever they were, even if they weren't coming to Nebraska City.
Right. So, but in terms of tourism, it was really heart-wrenching that all of our businesses who have a lot of traffic flow on that weekend, and it's kind of our opening to the tourism seasons. All our museums open. We have a big festival, so it's kind of the big ta-da, here we go with summer in Nebraska City. So that part was taken down, but we are really gearing up for next year because it's the 150th year that we'll be celebrating Arbor Day. So we got a lot of tricks up our sleeve to really knock it out of the park this year.
Yeah.
2021.
Starting 2021 to 2022, we're going to have a whole year of Arbor Day celebrations. So the fact that we had to dial back this year, that's fine. We're just going to hit it twice as hard next year. The parade was the last thing we canceled, and we canceled it Wednesday of that week of Arbor Day because we were just trying to push as hard as we could to figure out how to make the parade possible under the DHMs that were in place at the time, and it couldn't happen, and that was really heartbreaking.
Some of our people who had already made floats still kind of showed up and put them on Central because they've been doing floats for a long time. We've got some outstanding floats for Arbor Day, so
yeah, that was pretty rough. Well, we've done a lot of things to help. Our office is the tourism office, but it's also the Chamber of Commerce, and so we're helping our businesses in both areas, and it's really combined because as the tourists come in, they spend money at, they don't just usually go to a museum. They also grab lunch and maybe do a little bit of shopping while they're here. And so we have a program called Chamber Bucks, and they're gift certificates that they can buy here, and they're used at any of our members' locations here in Nebraska City. And so we've done a lot of different promotions that we've hosted where we give away Chamber Bucks to people that they can spend here in town to businesses that are open. And that's hopefully revitalizing or helping the economy of our local businesses maintain.
a lot of our restaurants thought outside the box in order to do takeout or curbside, and so we helped them implement to make sure that they had the right rules going forward, and then we helped them get the word out so that locals could visit new restaurants. So, you know, you kind of get in your rut where you have 3 or 4 restaurants that you always go to, Runza being one.
Yeah.
So we just had to educate people that let's try something new. And so a lot of our residents did try some new things. Being safe, they were able to pull up curbside, get their food with a restaurant that they maybe don't normally frequent. So.
And we really pulled out all the stops with our social media. This was the people at home, they're on Facebook 24/7. And that's our, and I don't know if the young people these days are on Facebook as much because their parents are, so it's not quite cool. But the people that spend the money are on Facebook. And so that's what we targeted, is our Facebook audience. And so we were sharing posts of our local businesses, and we were pushing that, why to spend money locally and ways that you could do that on our Facebook page. And I think we've seen a lot of traffic on that.
We have. We also really pushed the free social distancing events. We have so many trails in Nebraska City. We were reminding folks where you can take your kids. You can't take them to a playground, but you can certainly take them and walk a trail. We've got multiple trails available to people. A lot of them have been paved, so ways to ride your bike. We did a biking promotion where we let people know of different places that you could safely ride your bicycle.
And May was Bike Month, so it's
that
National
worked.
Bike Month, so we kind of promoted that at the same time. So we're just trying, and a lot of that was just a morale boosting. People can get really depressed during this time, and so we're trying all of these. We're a big umbrella, and so we're trying to figure out how we can incorporate all of these different things to hit everybody.
I have a few.
Okay, so I love their French fries. Their French fries are a vessel for salt and ketchup. They're so fantastic. And this may be gross to some people. I take their fries and their shakes and dip the fry in the shake and eat it
When
that
it's
way.
not being a vessel to the ketchup?
No, yes, you're
Okay.
right. Yes,
Didn't
not
know
the
where
same.
we were going with that.
Not with the ketchup and the shake. That's disgusting. I will say that. But either fry in ketchup, or fry in shake, That's what I like.
So I try not to eat too many carbs, but when I just put that aside, the Runza with cheese meal with onion rings and an iced tea, that is my go-to. But when I'm trying to be good, which is pretty much in the summer when you need something light, Southwest chicken salad.
That's what you usually get, because I run and get food like at lunch when it's a lunch break and we go to Runza. And Pam, our other lady that works here, I get 2 Southwest chicken salads.
Yep.
And a large fry for me.
And Pam doesn't like the dressing, so I get double dressing on Southwest chicken salad.
Yeah.
Love eating salads with Pam.
Runza day is a good day. We miss those.
We do miss them.
Yeah.
And we've actually still tried to go since they've been closed.
Right. It's like, okay, what do you want from Runza? Oh, yeah.
I've actually got there and been like, Runza's closed. What's our plan B?
We forgot. It's so exciting. I mean, we love it when people invest back into Nebraska City, and they knew that having a Runza in Nebraska City is important, and updating, upgrading, rebuilding a whole new one that's great for Nebraska City. It shows that they value us as customers, so we'll be happy when they're back.
Well, thanks for watching that Runza Dirt review and hopefully more interesting interview. For my next episode, I am heading back to the Lincoln area, at least. We'll be heading to Waverly, Nebraska in northeastern Lancaster County, just off I-80 between Lincoln and Omaha. So as always, thanks for watching.